This is the 5-day first offer challenge. We are going to destroy some limiting beliefs people have about investing in multifamily real estate. And we are going to get to, if you have 0 units or if you have some doors, if you want more doors, we're going to talk about how to get from 0 to an LOI in 5 days. Now is the best time to buy multifamily real estate because there's no better time than the now. And with everything that's going on, everything that's going on in the world, this asset class, hard assets where people need to live, is the best investment you can make right now. In my opinion, it's in my opinion. And listen, I have some crypto as a plan B. I have some stocks and some trading accounts. I have some other things going on too, but 70% of my net worth is in multifamily apartments. Big majority of it, right? Because people need a place to live. And it's your duty, your obligation, and your responsibility, right, to protect your wealth, preserve wealth, grow your wealth, and ultimately leave a legacy for you and your family. And that's why we're here, guys. This is bigger. You got to think bigger here. We're building legacy wealth, generational wealth, okay, in selecting these. And I know I'm getting very macro, but it's all going to come together, right? For this, it's a 5-day challenge. It's all going to come together. And it starts with why you're here. And you have to get fired up because this challenge is not easy. It's not going to be easy. There's homework, there's stuff. This is a difficult challenge. So you have to be bought in. You have to be all in. You have to be committed to the fact that multifamily real estate is a vehicle that is going to get you to quit your job, passive income, right? And get you where you want to go. If you don't do the challenge, you're not going to submit an offer by the end of the week. So if you just come in here and you watch me and say, "Oh, that's great, Chad. Chad's doing it in a market that he's never been in. That's awesome," and you're not doing the homework and doing it yourself, the challenge is not going to. I'm not going to come submit an LOI for you. My first little deal, I came from the single family space, fix and flip, wholesale. If you guys are in this group, you've seen Bill Allen, partner of mine. I came from single family, fix and flip, wholesale space. Was making a lot of active income. I'm still in that space for the active income standpoint, but I made that transition a couple of years ago into multifamily apartments because I got the bug. Everybody in here understands multifamily real estate, the reasons why we're doing it, the tax benefits, the depreciation, the appreciation, the cash flow, all those things. People understand those, right? So I made that jump after studying for a long time, getting educated, made the jump into multifamily. My first deal was a little 14 unit about an hour north of here. Little 14 unit. And I'm a risk averse guy. I mean, I like to take chances, but I'm a risk averse guy. I did not go big with my first deal and do a 150 unit deal. And that's okay. And I'm not even saying you can't do a 150 unit deal. We'll teach you the skills. There's the skills and everything are in here to do a big deal. The partnerships, when it comes to building your team, you're able to do a big deal like that first if you're lucky enough to find one. Okay, but I started a little smaller. I started with a 14 unit, hour up the road near a military base. Had a strong population from the military base. I had a strong renter base. The other thing too, I bought that deal with 2 partners. You do not have to go about this alone. We will talk a lot about this on Thursday when it comes to building your team, but this is a team sport. Multifamily, these are big pies, and there's a lot of roles and responsibilities. There's a lot of things at play here that you're going to need partners for. Some people's limiting belief is that they're in a market that is not conducive to owning apartments. They're in maybe a tenant-friendly market that is very, very high price per door, very low cap rates. I don't know, let's call it New Jersey, Seattle, like they're in one of those markets that's very difficult to own assets. Well, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I moved here 4 years ago. I didn't know a soul. So I'm not telling you guys to move, but I am telling you that if you're in a place you can invest virtually, but if that scares the heck out of you, you may need to move. You may need to move markets. That's pure and simple. Jason Yarusi and Pili Yarusi are in here. And they were in New Jersey, not conducive to what they wanted to be doing. They moved their family to right south of Nashville, Tennessee. So that may be what you need to be doing. It may be a conversation you need to have. This challenge is not about packing up and moving. So I don't want to incentivize everybody to start packing U-Hauls, but you got to get in that. If this is something that's important to you, I talked about being bought in. If this is something that you important to you and you believe in this, and I will tell you, like, I can reiterate how much I believe in this asset class for the long term, right? This stuff is going to be around. The 14 unit in Clarksville, just an hour north. I did a 20, next deal was a 21 unit in Huntsville, Alabama. Okay, so 2 hours south, still in my backyard, in my opinion. And I got to study those markets. We'll talk about market demographics. Then my next deal was a 49 unit in Chattanooga, Tennessee, 2 hours east of where I am. And then my next deal was a 65 unit in Louisville, Kentucky, which was 2.5 hours north, still in my backyard, in my opinion. So I was able to be nimble, right, around where I lived, because, you know, downtown Nashville is a very difficult market with low cap rates, difficult to buy properties in downtown, you know, Nashville. I can't compete with those. So I'm able to be nimble and go to other tertiary markets around where I live. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And, you know, we can, when we go into deal sourcing and stuff like that, we'll talk about how those deals came about. And I'm also, the other thing too, that I want to just preface this whole day with, I'm not telling you to go into 5 different markets. I am telling you that you should get to know a couple good markets and be open to, you know, a couple of good, strong markets that you believe in, that you're committed to. And it may be the market you're living in, or it may be maybe an hour, 2 hours outside of where you're living. Okay. And we'll look at the maps and do all that kind of stuff too today. So that was a little bit about my journey. As you can see, I sort of did the domino approach when it came to apartments, like 14, 21, 65, 49, or 49, 65, 93. And that's a way to go about it. I would, if I'm looking back on myself, I had a little bit of, you know, the imposter syndrome type limiting beliefs that I carried with me when I first got started. And I still have some, but I carried some of those with me when I first got started, thinking that I had to start small. You don't necessarily need to, but for some people, that little 14 unit, like, it's a needle mover, guys. The little 20, it moves the needle, right? And that's the whole point of today, is to be able to get a deal that we can make an offer on, or the point of this week is to find a deal that we can make an offer on that will move the needle for us in our lives. Like I said, I'm excited to do this challenge with you guys, and we're going to walk through it together. Deal sourcing. So today's market selection, tomorrow's sourcing the deals. We're actually going to call some brokers live. I might even call some sellers live. We're going to talk about sourcing the deals tomorrow. Day 3 is analysis and underwriting. We're going to get really into the weeds on the spreadsheets. We're going to crush those limiting beliefs for people who say they're not a numbers person. And then day 4 is, oh my gosh, day 4, how to build your team, right? So we're going to talk about who you need on your team, and then how to build them. And if you're buying virtually, how do you build your team virtually? How do you get boots on the ground? How do you get a property manager on the ground? Like, how do you build your team? And then day 5 is going to be a recap. We're going to be talking about submitting the LOI. And yeah, if you've never submitted an LOI before, day 5, your hands are going to get a little clammy. I'm going to warn you right now. If you've never submitted an LOI in a multifamily apartment complex, awesome. You're going to do so this week. And if you stick to the challenge and do the homework,